My name is Hugh Evans and I'm the CEO of the Global Poverty Project. I think that you have to keep in mind that there are one group of people who carry the majority of the burden in the developing world, and they are of course women. We know that women account for 50% of the world's population, but actually 3/5 of those who live in extreme poverty. We know that women perform 2/3 of the world's working hours, and yet they earn less than 10% of the world's income. And we know that currently, 343,000 women die every single year due to complications around childbirth, and 99% of those women live in the developing world. Now, I believe this needs to change for two reasons. Firstly, simply because it's an issue of justice. But secondly, and in the words of Kofi Annan, the former Secretary General of the United Nations, he put it really well when he said that there's no tool for development that's more effective than the empowerment of women. No other policy is as likely to raise economic productivity or reduce infant and maternal mortality. No other policy is as powerful in increasing the chances of education for the next generation, and no other policy is more important in preventing conflict or in achieving reconciliation once a conflict has ended. So for any woman who's watching this, it's critically important to invest in women, because an investment in women actually is an investment in the whole community, because women are more likely to reinvest any profits they earn back into community businesses, and they're more likely to provide for the whole family. And so that's why investment in women is so important, for all those reasons. And so that's why I think we need to consider what practical interventions we can get involved in the investment of women. And I would argue organisations like the White Ribbon Alliance, for example, who have mobilised women across India to hold the government to account for the provision of basic service delivery for women in childbirth, is critically important. It's ridiculous in the world that we live in. It's absolutely appalling that we live in a world where women are allowed to die in childbirth. That is just ridiculous. The fact that 343,000 women continue to die every single year should not happen, because we know that access to an appropriate C-section in the event of an emergency or skilled birth attendants, these are not costly interventions. Not at all. Not at all. We simply don't have the will. So we need women all around the world rising up and saying that we have the will, and we want to hold our governments to account for those sort of service delivery, and also see greater philanthropic endeavours in those sorts of areas. This is something that is so achievable.